Hello, Scary Creations. How are you this morning? Did you guys love that Laker Mamba? Absolutely loved that Laker Mamba yesterday. I wish I would have put him higher than the fourth pick. I wish I would have put him as my first pick too.
It
Is there
was
a
a,
he that wins more long shot races than Sonny Leone?
you know, that is a good question. But yeah, he does seem like he does that, huh?
Yeah, even in the Kentucky Derby, right?
Yeah.
80 to 1, $40 horses. Absolutely fantastic call there, Scary Creation. When it hit the wire too, yeah, maybe by the next day, my brain might not work that well. But anytime somebody comments and makes a note and says, "Hey, pay attention to this horse," I'm always texting Charles or Terry and say, that was the one that they brought up on the show today. So yeah, guy's really
Mm.
good and aggressive, which I love. Yeah, he's definitely aggressive for sure. So today we're going to do Aqueduct. Before we get to Aqueduct, though, last night Sean and Jamie had on a wonderful guest. That is Electra Boone. She's social media around horse racing. She's definitely got a lot of thoughts about horsing. We're very committed to horses, passionately loves the animals, and it's a fantastic show. And if you haven't seen it yet, make sure you go while you're here on YouTube, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of these shows. There will not be a horse center tonight. There will be, however, a live broadcast with Charles, myself, and Terry. We're going to get together tonight and we're going to do Turfway Park. Every race live throughout the course of the card so we can update all the data with scratches, track biases, run through every single horse. It's going to be a good time. We'll start about 15 minutes before post, which I think is 5:55 p.m. Eastern. So we'll start probably right around 5:40 p.m. Eastern, and then we'll go right through the entire card. So that's our surprise announcement for the day. So make sure you tune in for that. Make sure you tune in and watch Electra Boone. Fantastic interview. I had a lot of fun listening. The girl has a lot of talents for sure. All right. How you doing, Tafum? Good to see you again today. Good to see you. Greetings from Turkey. Yes, we know you're there, right? So hopefully we can find a winner, a banker for you today at Aqueduct, Tafum, so that that wedding can go on as planned. What do you think about that, Charles?
There we go.
Indeed, that's the whole idea there, right? All right. So
Yep.
you're ready to get to work on Aqueduct today?
I'm ready.
All right, let's see. Well, before we get started on Aqueduct, I got to say that they have $189,000 late pick 5 carryover. So I know I focused most of my $100 in our $100 challenge on that because if it's 189,000 to start, Charles, what do you suspect? It's going to be 500,000 or more by the time they're done?
Yeah, I would say it
Million?
was for sure. It'll grow for sure 3 times. So
So at least 600,000.
I think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it tops $1 million, to be
It
honest with you,
might,
right?
it might, but
Good morning, Melvin. Good to see you again today. We're going to see if we can hit that Aqueduct $189,000 mandatory payout. Second pick 5, late pick 5 on that card today. All right, Charles. Well, with that in mind, hey, Jay, good morning. How are you today, Jay? You're from India as well. All right, cool. Good to see you from India. All over the world this morning, man. We're getting representation from Turkey, from India, from the U.S., and then I'm not sure where some of the others. I know we get a lot of folks from Venezuela, too.
yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started with race number 1 at Aqueduct, Charles. Race 1 at Aqueduct is a mile and a 16th. This is a maiden claiming $2,500, and at a maiden claiming, well, at a mile and an eighth on that Aqueduct track, there is some tactical speed necessary. A small penalty if you ride the rail. 2 through 7 play fair. 8 and out, there is a major bonus. Let's take a look real quick, Charles, at our simulations. Again, 1,000 simulations using speed figures. And then this tells you the odds of how many times they won that race in the 1,000 simulations and what the odds would be based upon speed figures. And then the those are the morning line odds. That's the simulated odds. And then over here is the lead at a quarter mile marker. So we saw yesterday a ton of horses that we predicted would get the lead at the quarter mile marker, including that 40 to 1 that hit in the beginning, went on to go ahead and win. So, American racing is speed racing. Charles, looks like 2 are going to get to the front there pretty aggressively.
Yeah, there's 2 horses here that look like they're going to fight for it, which would be the 4 horse, 42% chance of having the lead at the quarter pole. And then we have the 5 horse that has slightly over 37% chance. So those two horses probably going to battle it out, and I probably agree with that. And then when it comes to simulation odds, right now it's really the 7 horse is the one that's slightly, the value horse, if you want to call it. Just slightly under even money on simulation, and it's close to 2 to 1 Morning Lion.
Hmm. Hey, Melvin, you're in New Jersey. What part of New Jersey? I grew up in the Poconos, really kind of on a tangent here a little bit with all this stuff going on. And from that guy who allegedly killed those kids in Idaho. When I'm reading through the newspapers, I see that the assistant DA, his name is Mike Mancuso. Stroudsburg is my stomping grounds growing up. In fact, my grandparents had a shoe store on Main Street in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. And Mike Mancuso is actually a friend of mine growing up. And he's one of the people who's like shifting that guy off to Idaho. It's kind of strange to see your friends in the newspaper over, or at least high school friends over a situation like that, right?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Sloppy track today. Indeed. It's going to
Yeah.
be crazy over there. So it seems like wherever we go, we're going to bring some little bit of precipitation with us, Charles, because it's been, except for Florida, right?
Yeah. And then even then, that'll be 50-50 probably on and off the rest of this year.
Yeah, well, Terry and I had the streak where we actually got tracks rained out. All right, let's take a look at our way to the winner's circle worksheet. The E-horses want to go wire to wire. The EP types can go wire to wire or sit right off the lead, no more than 2 lengths at the quarter-mile marker. Pressure horses do not like to win on the lead. Pressure closers can pressure or they can close, and of course the closers are the ones that want to close. You see some up arrows, some down arrows here. That's the movement in terms of these mating claimings. So 2's dropping in class, the 4's moving up in class, so on. The 6 horse gets the NC's run, man. That guy's never been close. As far as the early speed is concerned, it does look to me like the 4 might be the one they have to eventually pass. And in the mud, that can be an important place to be. He has an 8-point speed advantage at the 4 furlong marker, so it could be as much as a length ahead of everybody else. And this 7, you're right, Scary. It's going to try to chase him down at the end, a class dropper. So that class drop probably puts it closer to the front and has a big late pace advantage. Charles, when they're all said and done, is anyone going to beat that 7?
Well, I don't think so. I think that 7 does have the class of the race. It is his first time on the dirt, and he drops in class, like we just said. He ran 4th last time, and it wasn't a bad 4th at all. He finished only a length and 3/4 back. You got Todd and Kendrick as the trainer and jockey combo, so look out there. I say the 2 horse is my second choice here. This horse drops, like you indicated earlier, has some of that tactical speed, can sit right there next to them. This horse goes longer today, and Rudy gets 18% when there are 46 plus days off, so you got a fresh horse. And then you got the 5 horses, my third choice here. This horse drops in class. Ran second last time. He does have that tactical speed. He probably even will try to take the lead. Uh, and then my price horse is the 1. And if you look at the simulated odds there, it's right about where it's supposed to be. This horse ran 3rd last time out, and this horse is going a little longer today, but it has some talent and fit with these horses.
Bow in the back. I don't know quite. I mean, that sounds pretty painful, but making the same class drop as the 7, which is going to be the big favorite over there. So I'm going to take a shot on a little bit longer odds, and this one has a little bit more front end speed than the 7 does. Also, the best early pace, late pace combination. So I'm hoping that 5 can get to the lead and kind of do what we saw yesterday, take off and never get past. If not, your mission going to be the favorite. 3 consecutive speed figure increases in a row. The thing here, too, is Kendrick is riding this horse, Kendrick Carmouche. Kendrick, good friend of the show. I just feel like he's a little bit better on horses on the front than he is on the back. So I would suspect he's actually going to try to maybe shock them and get closer to the front when the gates open today.
Well, you even indicated that on your sheet that, with this class drop, serious class drop, he might be much more forwardly placed just off of that. Now you got a jockey that will do that. I think makes it very interesting.
Yeah, so I expect that that's what you're going to see there. Phoebe's Frosty, the 4 horse in here. I think trainer Baker Charlton must have seen something in that last race. It's going to move him up from a maiden claiming $20,000, and he's hit 8 out of 31 times when he makes that same class move up. And this horse has that big early speed advantage at the 4 furlong marker. So if he can get to the lead, could be difficult too. So that 4 and 5, I think one of them might have a shot to go wire to wire. And who knows, that 4 horse might go off at a big price. And then number 2, Midnight Express, also a class dropper. The workouts are okay. I think another one that is likely to be closer to the front. And if he gets to the front, we'll see if he can grow some courage and become the Lion after visiting the Wizard of Oz. All right. Let's see. Early pick 5 for Melvin. He likes the 2-7 with the 2-3-5 with the 6. He's going to single up the 6 in race 3. The 10, 6, 3, and 5, and the 7. Good luck indeed. Some days I would rather be lucky than good for sure, especially when those bombs hit and you accidentally get them on your ticket. Except it's been the exact opposite for me, Charles. Hey, I asked a question on Twitter last night. If you don't, you can follow me at HRT Rich on Twitter. As well as our social sites. But I asked, when you're handicapping, do you like to do it in quiet, a little background noise like the TV on in the background, or do you like to do it with music, Charles?
Me, myself, I like doing it with music.
And who's the artist of choice?
Oh, well, there's the big question. Okay, as you well know, I'm a huge Metallica fan, but anything hard rock, I listen to a lot of rock itself.
Yeah, so me, that's what I put in there, Metallica. So I was listening to a little bit of To Whom the Bell Tolls while I was doing some handicapping last night. I feel like, when you get that adrenaline moving, you get a little bit excited. I think it brings some clarity to the mind. At least it does for me.
And plus, my singing voice is perfect. I mean,
oh yeah,
awesome
perfect. Let's hear some.
Oh no, not for that, but I mean, it's perfect for me.
That's what I thought. Yes. The Cowardly Lion has not made it to Oz just yet. I know I have sung many times on this show.
Did you have any bets in this the first race?
Oh, yes, I did in the first race. I'm going to bet go ahead. What do you got first?
I got a $10 double, 7 to the 2. I really like the 2 in the next race. So I like the 7 in this race. I think if he doesn't win, then it's anybody's race. So I'm going 7-2, $10.
I have a 50-cent trifecta, 5-7 with the 4-5-7 with the 2-4-5-7. I don't have a whole lot of money left to spend out of my $100 budget once I got done with my pick 5. So race number 2, 7 furlongs, claiming $16,000. The purse is for 39 grand, so they're up in the money a little bit there. Again, Charles, if you look at the way to the winner's circle here in race number 2, I should point out that the 6 horse is scratched. He's not a part of the fun today. So what do you see here besides the fact that one's going to be the one they all got to go get?
Yeah, they're saying that simulation odds is basically 58% that he's going to have the lead at the quarter pole. I do believe there's going to be other horses pressuring him pretty good. And it's indicating the 3 and the 4 will be those 2 horses. I also believe the 2 will be right there real close to pounce when he needs to. So with the simulation odds, you got a little value with the 2, just a little bit. And that's about it. Everybody else is about where they belong, or they're just overplayed right now.
Yeah, David Aragona did a good job of setting the line there. Yeah, that 2 horse looks like if he goes off at 4-5, still could provide some value for horse players. Our way to the winner's circle. So here, all of these horses, except for the 3, it looks like the 3 might have some early pace too, at least using a little bit more recency bias. They all have similar early pace. I think this race is going to be pretty competitive up front. And even if that one horse does get the lead, it's going to have a lot of folks right on its tail. So you're going to probably want horses that have a little bit of late pace. Looks like right in here, these pressure closers, the 2 and the 5. And that 2 has a 5-point advantage over all of them. And then if you combine early pace and late pace, I think these 2, the 2 and the 4, are the ones to kind of keep your eye on in this race. And you've already tipped your hand a little bit with your double with the 2 in here, Charles. So why do you think the 2 stands out as a solo?
In this race, he really does stand out, in my opinion. He won his last race. He's very hot at the claim box 4 times this year, or last year, I should actually now say. Which when people claim horses that many times, the word's out that the horse is at least sound enough to win some races. He was claimed last time out. This horse has that tactical speed. He can sit in that catbird seat, as they call it, and sit there and pounce whenever he wants to. And then I have the 5 horse as my second choice here. This horse was claimed last time out. You got the Rudy Franco combo, which is a great combo. And Rudy gets 20% first after a claim. So that makes this horse very interesting in this position. And and he has that speed to either be on the lead or sit there and pressure it. The three horse. I believe this is another one I think is probably going to be on the lead, my own opinion. Has the speed. He was claimed two back, and he's back at the claim level where he was claimed at. So he's back where he's with his friends. And then my price horse here is the four horse. Ran second last time out. Very hot at the claim box. 6 times last year. Tactical speed, well bet last time. So this horse definitely has something to say about it.
So last race, we talked about Kendrick on a horse with the 7 that typically comes off the pace. Maybe the class drop will move it forward. There's no question. I don't think that Melting Snow is going to be a horse that's forwardly placed here with Kendrick. Speed Horse has that plus late pace edge. Trainer Rob Atras, who comes from the Robertino Diodoro coaching tree, 27% off the claim, and Robertino's really good off the claim too. So I think you're going to see this horse pop to the lead and see if you can come catch me. If you can, one horse, we'll find out. Number 5, Vegas Weekend, or maybe they'll go too fast, the two of them, and open up the door for something else. Vegas Weekend, the 5 horse, a couple of good fresh starts. So when this horse has come off the bench, it's run okay. The works are okay. I'm not so worried about the drop in the claiming price because of the $39,000 purse. If this purse was where these horses are running, I would be very concerned about that drop. Number 4, Prairie Fire. It's the right distance for this girl. She's run it 6 times, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. Just missed another win in that last race. So I expect maybe a little bit more in Charles's favorite handicapping angle, the third off the bench. And then finally, New York Banker. Saw it yesterday over and over and over again. A horse with a strong chance to get the lead. Gets that lead, never gives it up, does so at a price. And Charles, you have all sorts of bets here.
Yeah, first I'm going to do a pick 4. The pick 4 is I'm singling my 2 here, and then I'm going with my top 4 picks in the next 2 legs, and actually in the third leg I'm adding another pick. Excuse me, and then in the final leg I'm going with my top 2 picks, which would be the 2 and the 7.
All right, so I'm going to just kind of put some stuff there because otherwise it looks like 4-2. So you also have some exactas and daily doubles to think about?
I got an ice cold exacta here in this race. I got the 2-5 ice cold
Ice
for
cold.
$10. And then I got a $2 double starting with the 2 here and going with my top 4 picks in next leg, which would be the 1, 2, 4, 6.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I was almost out of money before I started. So 50-cent trifecta, 2-5 with the 2-4-5 with the 1, 2, 4, and 5 for me. Race 3 is next up. And I'm surprised on a sloppy track we didn't see more scratches than we did today, but
yeah,
it made our job a little bit easier getting prepped because when all these horses scratch out, then we have all these issues. But in any case, race 3, 6 furlongs, claiming 10 grand, claiming 16,000 for a purse again of $39,000. 6 furlongs on the Aqueduct track at the Big A. Early speed wins, mostly fair. Post positions 1 through 7, 8 and out. Does get a penalty in here, Charles. And in race number 3, it looks again like we have one that's a clear get to the front type.
Yeah, and this race it's the 6, 72% chance, slightly over that, and I believe that to be true, and it's even in my pick. Maybe the 3 might try to challenge him, but I really do think the 6 is going to lead. And then when it comes to simulation odds, let's see what we got here. The 1 horse, a little over 1.5, and he's going. Morning line is 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be the 1, and then the 3 horse slightly. It says 7-1, and he's going off morning line is 8-1.
Yeah, it looks like maybe the 4 horse at the 8-5 morning line, maybe a little bit underpriced right there. Maybe it should be more like a little higher than that. So maybe kind of one that you kind of discount a little bit. I don't know. It's tough to say. And race number 3, we have a whole bunch of horses in here that we got to look at. All but the 4 and the 6 have some similar late pace figures. So I think it's going to be a pretty competitive race. But the 4 and the 6, they have the most early speed. So those 2 are likely to get maybe out to the front, at least according to a little bit more recency. What interests me here, Charles, is the 1 and the 1A. Although the 1 does show up as a horse that has a lot of pace in the simulations,
Hmm.
when you look at how they've won races, both of them have wanted to come from off the pace. I suspect you're going to see this one go forward, this one wait, and then see if they can get it from the barbell approach. If they can't win on the front, they'll probably try to win it from the back. Horse for me that should get a good trip in here is this 3 horses. The Lone EP has the best early pace, late pace combination in this field. So a patient ride, I think, is coming out of that 3. Maybe a chance to steal this one at the end. What do you say?
The 3 definitely has some shots, but I really think it's the 6. It's his race to lose, basically. He's going to be out in front. He'll be winging it. You know, he won his last time out. Gomez stays on for this horse, you know. So, I think he's going to be trying to look back and see who's going to be coming after him at the end. The
Uh-huh.
1 horse has got that tactical closing speed, hot at the claim box 7 times. And Franco's back on this horse. This Franco knows this horse, so that horse has a little bit of a shot, in my opinion. The 4, uh, in my opinion, has a little bit more speed than it's showing on your simulations. But yeah, this horse is below the claim price that he was claimed at back when, and he drops in class today. You got a hot trainer that's in the last 14 days, and Kendrick gets on this horse. I mean, Kendrick should have a nice day today. He's got a lot of live mounts.
Mm-hmm.
And then my price horse here is going to be the 2 horse. This horse has got that tactical speed to sit right off of him or even close at the end. Uh, he was claimed last time out, and the horse ran second last time out.
I like that 6 horse too, Motion to Strike. What I like about it is it ran better fractions last time at 6.5 furlongs compared to the prior race where it ran 6 furlongs. So you run faster while you're going longer. That's always a sign to me that that guy is really getting in shape. Gets a weight break here too with the friend of the show, Jose Gomez. Number 4, Gandhi Dancing, second off the claim. Again, talked about Robert Atras being out of that school of Robertino Diodoro. Robertino is a master at the claim and then next out. In fact, he told us on the show when we had Robertino on as a horse center guest that he actually targets the next race after claiming a horse. So I'm sure that Rob has the same thing here. It's another horse that I expect will be better in the second start after a layoff. Number 1, Alcatec. So Lone EP horse, as we talked about, that 3 horse in the Way to the Winner's Circle worksheet. And last time, that horse just blew out all of its numbers. The internals were much better across the board. This top last 3 speed figure was better across the board. So maybe the horse found a new level. I think more likely a little bit of a regression. But if it only regresses a little bit, we'll be really competitive in here. And then finally, you got to take the duo, the 1 and the 1A, the entry. You get 2 for 1. Unfortunately, I think both are closers, but I do expect that one of the 2 will at least try to push forward in this race. I have a 50-cent trifecta, 4-6 with the 3-4-6 with the 1, 3, 4, and 6, because I'm about to spend almost all of my money in race number 4, Charles, which is the late pick 5 that we spoke about. It is a mandatory payout starting off at 189,000. And of course, the first race is going to be super challenging. It's 1 mile. It's a maiden claiming 20 grand. So you're talking about the low end of racing in New York at Aqueduct. The purse is for 32 grand, and it sure as hell looks again like, Charles, there's a horse in here that you're going to have to pass at some point if you want to win.
Yeah, that'd be the 7. 94% chance. What do you think? You think he's got a chance?
I think unless something goes wrong when the gates open, I would expect him to be forwardly placed for sure.
And to my calculations, he will have the lead, but I do not have him in my top 4 picks. But, I did put him in my pick 5 because he was sitting right there on the edge to be my long shot. But anyway, yeah, the simulation odds, though, you're looking at what? Basically, it's the 10 horse.
Yeah,
The
it
10
says
horse
that
is
horse
supposed
can
to
be,
be 1 to 2, and he's going off basically a little over 3 to 1. Yeah, I think that's a play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like it should be a horse. I mean, I can't single a horse in a maiden claiming 20, but
Oh
according to
no,
the simulation odds, sure as hell looks like a single. He's probably going to
especially
win by,
this race.
when you put a lot of horses in, like you and I did to open up the opening pick 5, he's going to win and he's going to go off at 3 to 5.
Of course, yeah.
Yes, that's the way it goes, indeed, for sure. And in our Way to the Winner's Circle for race number 4, Again, you have the up arrows, down arrows. This is an interesting shape for me because all of the horses that have run so far, they've pretty much been back when the race got started. They haven't shown a whole lot of interest in being forwardly placed. The one horse, it's just never been close. The 8 horse is going to give it a go for the first time. But what I like in here is the 7 is an E horse. So he has shown an interest in going forward. The simulator says it's going to go forward. What's one of the most tried and true handicapping angles? Lone speed. Well, you got lone speed in that 7 horse right there. And let's see if he can capitalize on that. I'm certain that all of the people that looking at their programs understand that the 7 is potentially lone speed. All the jockeys, some group in here is going to go after them. They're just not going to let it get out there on easy fractions by itself. But if they do, that 7 has a real good shot to go wire to wire. That's not in your picks. That 3 to 5 or 2 to 5 type is, though, Charles, for both of us.
Yeah, my top 4 picks. But like I said, at the end, was first thing. This is an ugly race. I mean, we could walk faster than these horses can run.
Now, somehow I want to see that. I want to
Well,
put Charles in the gate with a horse. What do you folks
I'm telling
think?
you right now, this is an ugly, ugly race. So that's why I didn't quite trust the 7 enough to go wire to wire. But he was my 5th pick, and it's like I was debating. But anyway, the 10 horse is my first pick here. He drops in class, first time Lasix. Trainer gets 18% with first time Lasix. He looks like on paper he's the best of these horses, which is not saying much. But my second pick here is the 6 horse. This horse drops in class. This horse, I think, might show a little bit more speed. I think he'll be the one pressuring the 7 a little bit. Gets Gomez on. And then the 8 horse is my third choice. First time starter. Dam has 1 winner from 1 start. So that's pretty good. Solid works. They're not fast, but they're solid dates. And he fits with these group. So let's see if he's got a little speed in him. And then my price horse here is 4. It's got some of that tactical speed. Ran second last time out, drops. But yeah, and when I start my pick 5, I even threw in the 7 just in case he got brave enough to go wire to wire. So I added him to my top 4.
Yeah, in race 4, that's 1 mile race. The bias here is early speed too, Charles, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a straight line outside to inside bias. So the farther you're out, the better your chances are of winning from post positions all the way back down to the 1. Just keeps descending from outside to inside. Second in Reed, yeah, did run that top last race speed figure, drops in class, certainly like that. Furthest outside, and you know what? I think the first time Lasix could be the one thing here that makes the big difference for that horse to go off at a low odds and probably come home at a low odds because we both have plenty of coverage in this first race. Number 6, Basic Truth. Might not look like it on paper. It's another one I think should contend with the lead for the 7. I expect a little bit more out of this horse as well with that class drop. You got to have that 7 horse in here with that 94% chance to get to the lead. It is a lone E horse. Everybody's looking for it. Has a bunch of early pace. And on December 14th, that horse put in a bullet 3 furlong workout. So that says they plan on getting out of the gate in a hurry again. Excalibrate is going to be the one that you got to pass to win this race. And then finally, number 5, Saratoga Strong. Going to take another shot in here because I do think that 10 horse is probably going to be the one to beat. So I'm going to try to find something behind it at a price. Going to drop in class here. Trainer Raymond Handel has won 9 out of 30 races the first time his horse gets a dose of Lasix. So not only are they giving it a first dose of Lasix, which is an effective angle for Handel, but they're going to give this horse a 10-pound weight break. So it's going to be much quicker out of that gate than anybody thinks. And then, Charles, we both participated in this $189,000 mandatory late pick 5 payout. We both think it'll be probably closer to $750,000. And so take us through your pick 5 picks.
Yeah, so like I said, I took my top 4 picks here, plus I added that speed horse, the 7, in the first leg. Then I got brave and I went single in the next leg, which would be the 7 horse. And then in my third leg, I took my top 4 picks and threw them in there, which includes the 1 and 1A. So you get actually 5 for the price of 4. And then I got brave again and I singled that fourth leg of it with the one horse. And then I went with four picks, my top four picks in the final leg, hopefully to catch a 12 to 1 or so price in one of my picks.
So Scary Creation is going to blow up all of our stuff here, saying Drama Load is gelded, Lasix, pay 300 grand for him and dropping. If these do not, that's the two horse. If these do not, if these ain't his friends, then who is? It could well be another horse in there that has a good shot to get it done. And I know you were on that long shot yesterday at 5 to 1 morning line. So David Aragona is usually pretty close to that. It's probably going to be one we regret when the pick 5 is done, Charles. I hope not. I hope he runs second.
I really wanted, to be honest with you, I really wanted to hit the all button in this race because it's such an ugly race. Even though I do believe the 10 looks the best of them all, I still think it's an ugly race.
Yeah, it is kind of an ugly race. Well, I mean, that's what you get when these low-level maidens, right? That's the way it works out. Race number 5 is our next race. It is a mile and 3/16. This one's an allowance for 82,000. So we go.
Oh, you didn't go through your pick 5.
Oh, yes, you're right. I guess I'm so old.
And by the way, my pick 5 is a $40 ticket.
Yeah, mine is 81. So I'm going to go with the 5, 6, 7, 10 in that first leg with the 1, 2, 7 in race number 4. 5. Race number 6, the 1, 2, 4. Race number 7, 7, 1 and 7. And race number 9, 8, the 2, 8, and 9. So that's mine. It's $81. Hoping to cash some nice prices in some long shots there. All right, now we can try race 5, which is a mile and 3/16. We go from ugly to not so ugly for an allowance, $82,000. At a mile and a 3/16. They haven't run any races yet, Charles. So really, not kind of hard to tell what the bias is, but it does look like we're going to have a duel between one of the favorites and one of the long shots when the gates open.
Yeah, between the 3 and 4, they're pretty close to the same percentage. The 3 is at 44, and the 4 is at 42. So basically, they're going to go head and head, which I can see that. I think actually the 4 is going to get the lead in my personal opinion, but I wouldn't put it past that 3 to get out there and put his head out in front. When it comes to the odds, the 4 is right now the value horse, 1.5 to 1 odds to 2.5. But you got the 2 horse there, looking at almost 4 to 1 odds assimilation, but a morning line says 6, so that looks pretty good. And so that's it on the odds.
Yeah, indeed, it does look like there's some value in your short field too. Tonal Impact, a horse that it's one we both have, but I was a little bit leery about that morning line favorite action there. In race number 5, we see here that the 4 horse is indeed the one that's likely to have a lead. But the 6 horse is probably the one that's going to be the one that's up front, has a 9-point advantage over everybody else at the 4 furlong marker. So I think this is the pressure horses. It might not take the lead initially and then run by the 4 after the quarter mile marker. And that 7 horse sitting back here does have a strong late pace advantage over everybody else. The top combination of early speed and late speed. It is a race that is balanced a little bit more towards the back half of the field, which could give the speed horses a little bit of an advantage, provided they don't smoke each other out as the race gets going, Charles. I think we both have the 7 as our top choice here.
Yeah. And why I got the 7 here is, like you just finished saying, that he's got the top late speed, which I do believe he does, but he does have enough early speed that he could sit close,
Mm-hmm.
And so with Kendrick aboard, I think that's what you're going to see with this horse today. This horse has won the last 4 times. So he definitely knows how to do it. He's hot at the claim box 6 times. So and Rice, you got Rice and Kendrick together as a combo. So she does fantastic for someone that's supposed to be on suspension, huh?
Yeah,
And then and then the 2 horse, excuse me, the 2 horse is my second choice here. Ran 3rd last time out. Claimed 2 back. Franco's aboard, and this horse will be closing. This is one of your top closers, I believe. And then the 6 horse here has that tactical speed. Cash gets 19% when he puts them in allowance races. And Gomez jumps on. So that's another good little plus. You get a little weight break. And then the price horse for me is the 4 horse, which is not really much of a price. Has speed, second after a layoff. Todd gets 24% when the second time after a layoff.
Those are some good numbers right there. I like the 7 horse in here too, Tonal, because of that late pace that has. It's going to won 4 races in a row too, and interestingly, that each race is just a little bit better, not a lot, just incrementally
Mhm.
going up that speed ladder. Third after a layoff, like it has today. The last time the horse had a third race cycle, the third was the best. So there's a in that check box mark thing, a lot of check marks in the right boxes for tonal impact. The number one, Enejo, I guess you got to kind of be careful how you pronounce that one, but has run at Aqueduct one time. It did win that race. And usually really has a really quick workout on December the 28th. And what I found interesting is this horse is running the same routine as the last time it won. It had a bullet workout, and then the third race it came back. So it had a workout between the second and third race after a layoff. The workout was a bullet in between, and then it came back to run at Aqueduct, which it's going to do this time around. So trying to find that same routine that it had the last time it won. Number 2, Bold Victory at Aqueduct, 4 times out, 2 seconds, 2/3. And this one is really one that you probably do want to upgrade considering it's off track today. 6 times out in the slop or mud, 2 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. So that's 100% by any math. And then finally, that 4-horse gasoline, man, the numbers were just too good to put any lower than that. Matter of fact, I was thinking about putting a little bit of higher. I don't have a whole lot of money here, so I bet a $1 exact to 7 over the 1, 2, and 4. So I think I have one more bet left, and I usually like to have a bet in every race in case I'm walking around lucky in a race and I don't know it. Race 6 is a mile and an eighth. This one's another nice allowance race. This one is for $72,000 at a mile and an eighth on that Aqueduct course. It looks like you have to have some tactical speed, small rail penalty. So if you're on that rail, you might have a little bit of a disadvantage. That will be the 2-horse here today. 2 through 7 play fair, and if you wear an 8 or out, you do get a major bonus, and that's going to be the 1A and the 8 of these 2 horses, Charles, that are in the entry. It sure looks like the 1A is the one that's going to be up front, and then the other one's going to be the rabbit, one's going to be the chaser.
Yeah, but I think the other one has just as good a speed as the other one. So I'm actually was kind of shocked when I saw this. I thought I would see some numbers in the actual one spot too. But
Mm.
yeah, the 1A's got a 44% chance. I do believe the 1A will be out in front. The 5, 36% chance. Yeah, I can see that also. But like I said, I thought the one itself had some speed. When it comes to the odds, you got the one. They're all looking right about the same. Even the 1A is too much. Yeah, there's what is there? Is there anything there? Oh, the 4, the 4, 6.5 to 1 simulation odds. Morning line is 12.
Yeah, that 4-horse. I have some reasons why I like that 4-horse coming up,
Hmm.
Charles. We'll talk about them in just a minute. But in race number 6, again, you look at the race shape here. Most of the horses in this spot want to be middle or back. So I think that opens the door for speed horses to perform well. That would be your 4 and your 5-horse. Neither one, the 4 is a little bit more versatile. It doesn't need the lead to necessarily win, so it can get to the front and run really comfortable fractions if necessary. The 2 and the 3-horse, they will probably sit right behind that duo there. And all of your closers, just like they position on here, will be closing, Charles. And the 1-horse hasn't won. The 1A, even though it shows speed, it hasn't won with speed. It's won from off
Hmm.
the pace. So I don't know that they necessarily want it to go out the front unless they're trying to burn it so that the other one could win. I don't know if that's the plan, but I doubt it. But you like that 1-horse.
Yeah, I like actually. Yeah, the 1 and 1A. I actually like both of them, but the one has to me has that tactical, more on the closing side speed, but does have enough speed to go up there if you had to. But ran second last time out. Hot trainer last 14 days, and this trainer also gets 22%. Now the 1A uh, has more of the speed, tactical speed of that. One last time out moves up and gets Kendrick. Kendrick again on another light mount.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but my second choice here is the 7. One last time out, claim 2 back. Rice moves this horse up. So, that tells me something too, because the last time, the horse won, and now she just moves him on up. She's got a lot of confidence in this horse. The 2 horse here ran third last time. This is the third time after a layoff. Trainer gets 34% with the second start at a route.
Mm.
That's a good little number. And in that 4 is my price horse, and it's your first pick, which this horse has that scary speed that could be dangerous if he has that all set up for him. I
Mm.
mean, if he's pressured too much, I don't know if he can do it. But if someone leaves him alone just for a little bit, especially for that first quarter, he could be very dangerous in this race.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he could be very dangerous, and I actually put in my notes bump him up if the track is off. That's why I moved him. Actually, I had him third at first, but on that off track has the best record. Been out there 9 times, 3 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. And those speed numbers actually go up when he goes into the wet track. So that's why he ended up getting bumped up to the first spot for me. Otherwise, I would have had the 2 horse as my first choice, and that's Mason Mania. Trainer Jeremiah Englehart, when they're not absolutely tearing up the Finger Lakes track, that Englehart family, he's absolutely killing it with second horse. The horse is making the second start for him. 44 times, 15 of them winners. This is the third race off the bench. And again, when you rewind through previous 3 race cycles, the third race off the bench was the best of the 3, just like today. You have the 1 in the 1A, 2-for-1 special. The pace says to both be close, but the 1A could be the one on the lead. And actually, I just don't really, I don't see it considering how they've won in the past, but you never know. And then number 6 is the final choice from here. Son of Alex was a tough call for me over that 7-horse, but it's been facing better company. And I think this one has a little bit more reason for hope and improvement in the second start after a layoff. I'm almost all out of money, Charles, so I don't have a bet here in race number 6, and neither do you.
No, it's just going into my. It's in my pick 5. I took all those horses,
Mm.
so
Race 7 is next up. It is 7 furlongs. Optional claiming 80,000. The purse is 88 grand for a 7 furlong winner at the Big A, Stalkers. And this time there's an absolute outside bias again. But 2 and 3 get a very strong penalty. Looks like Charles has been in my computer again. Charles, looks like the 3-horse and maybe the 5-horse are the ones that I think the 5-horse is scratching this race. So
yeah, the
that
5 is
opens up
scratch.
the door big time for that 3-horse to get to the
Well,
lead.
yes and no. I think it makes the 1 get a lot closer now. Before I thought the 1 be sitting like third or fourth, and now I see the 1 those percentage I should say moving up a lot more. But yeah, the 3 is still the horse that's going to be out winging a little bit. But now I see the 1 definitely pressuring the horse.
And speaking
And
of, with the scratches and stuff, tonight, again, we're going to do Turfway Park Live, that all weather track, 8 races. We're going to start about 15 minutes, 20 minutes before post. So keep an eye out for that. That's why you want to hit the subscribe button, especially if you're going to play Turfway tonight. We're going to go through every single race, but we're going to be able to do tonight, which we can't do in the morning show. So we're actually going to be able to do the simulations with the scratches. So we'll have a really up-to-date, real-time picture of what the early pace might look like and how the odds should break out based upon the horses that are actually running. All right, Charles. So let's take a
yeah,
look. Go
and it's
ahead.
the same thing with the odds. The odds would change too. Because look, the 5 was
Whoops,
morning
sorry.
line was
I
five to
messed you up.
one.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. The 5 was morning line was supposed to be 3 to 1. So that means everyone else is going to start taking some of this action. But right now, after this, the 2 is the play. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at 2 to 1. It's going morning line 6 to 1, and possibly the 7 is your next play. But yeah, that would have changed too with that scratching.
Yeah, so we're going to go through all of that tonight. It's going to be a fun night. The 5-horse is absolutely not going to run, so he's taking the day off. Doesn't want to go out there and dirty himself up and all the slop today. This is a well-balanced race. Really, nobody stands out with a killer race advantage. One horse might actually be towards the lead here, so keep an eye out. The 1 maybe could compete for that lead with that 3. As you mentioned, Charles, it is a horse that should benefit from that 5 and all of its early run being on the sidelines. All right, Charles, who do you like?
Well, with that 5 being scratched, which was in my picks originally, now it makes me really believe in the 1 here. The 1 is that I even singled it out in my pick 5. The 1 here has that tactical speed, so I see Kendrick picking this horse, either trying to take the lead or being second all the way around. This horse won last time out, so I think he's a big time dangerous horse here. And
And you
then my
singled
second.
him?
And I singled him in my pick 5. Yes.
Ooh, good luck.
Hey, come on, man. I go for it.
All right, go for it, baby. I'm
All
right
right.
with you.
And then the 7 horse is my second pick here.
You know
Horse
they don't
ran.
pay for 4 out of 5, right?
No, I know that because I won't be hitting 4 out of 5. I'll be hitting all
Mm.
5. And then the pick that my second pick is the
Every
7.
girl's crazy about a confident man. Go ahead.
That's right.
Hmm.
I was the theme person for this song. Okay, anyway, ran second last 3 times. The 7 horse has, and the horse is the third time after a layoff here, and he's been well bet the last 2 times. The 7 horse is definitely a dangerous horse, but and then my third choice is the 2. The 2 has some speed there. Second after a layoff, he definitely likes this distance. He does very well at this distance. And then my price horse is the 4. The 4 horse drops in class and drops in class, and he runs better on Lasix. If you look back on his races, he has races that he has the Lasix, and he runs much better. He'll finish in the money, and then the times he doesn't, he's out of the money.
Hmm.
He's
So
Lasix today.
need some Lasix. Number 7, Piece of My Heart, top last race speed figure. And the race internals were better from the beginning to the middle to the end than the prior start. Horse that could be in peak form in the third start off a layoff. It's been at Aqueduct 5 times, 4 wins in a second. So I don't know if this one just likes to hang in New York, but maybe that O will go today. 100% in the money. So, I mean, maybe we could focus your bets around the 7 if you had any money left, Rich. Number 1, Secret Love, 3 consecutive speed figure increases, including, like the 7, better across the board on the internals last time out. And is that lone PC horse here? But again, the field, every horse should get the trip that it wants. So I don't know that's as much of an advantage as we like it to be. Probably going to move a little bit more forward today for Charles a single in the pick 5. Easy to Bless could be better in the second race off the bench. Has some really nice workouts between races too. So I like to see that they're trying to keep the horse sharp. And then finally, number 4, Corey has some closing ability. But what I liked about the closing ability, it also has some back speed. So this horse, if necessary, could get a much closer to the front than it needs to, or than it's shown of late, if the pace is too slow out of the gate. You're going to go ice cold again here, Charles, and double.
Yeah, ice cold, $10, one over of the 7, and then a double, $2 double, 1 to the 5 in the next race.
All right, and the race 8. Hopefully, we're both still alive. Charles is single into race number 8 for that $189,000 mandatory late pick 5 payout. Race 8 is 6 furlongs. We're back to the maiden claiming $25,000. What a way to open the pick 5 and close the pick 5 with the low level maidens. Purse here is $35,000. Again, 6 furlongs. Does favor horses that have some early speed. 1 through 7. They post positions play fair. But the 8 and the 9 on the outside, they do get a little bit of a penalty. Maybe the 9 can overcome that penalty with all of its early pace, Charles.
Yeah, he might. And I see that him going to the front also. He's got a 68% chance going off to the quarter pole, have the lead there. That's what the simulation says. And I kind of agree with that. I think the horse will show the speed. It's just these maidens, who knows what they're going to do half the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to odds, it looks like the 2 is the money play. This horse is basically the simulation odds is almost even money, and you're looking at almost 5 to 1 or 4 to 4.5 to 1.
Yeah, 4 to
So
5 on the
yeah, I mean
yeah.
that's a good money play.
Yeah,
And
looks like
then
whoops, I'm sorry. I
oops,
didn't
I
know.
think that was
thought,
it.
I thought you were done there,
I
Charles.
I was looking at it when I thought I spotted 1, but I was wrong.
All
The
right.
9. Okay.
So in our way to the winner's circle worksheet, again, most of the horses here want to be backwardsly placed, although the 9 horse does have some early speed. That's why he gets the box right here. The 2 horse is a left arrow horse, usually a closer type that has some early speed, going to push it close to the front. The 4 horse back here has never been close. All the down arrows are horses that are dropping in class. So that's the 4, the 3, the 4, the 5, and the 7. Otherwise, the rest of them are running at pretty much the same level as before. But this 8 horse right here has a 10-point late pace advantage, the top early speed, late speed combination. And I think based upon this race setup, should be able to fit right where it wants to be on the track and have a really good chance at the end of the race. I I personally think it's a 3-horse race between the 8, the 9, and the 2. You're going to start off with something completely different. And if we're both live coming into that late pick 5, I'm going to be rooting against that 5.
Well, I really like this 5 a little bit more than the other, but it's not like totally in love with it either. This horse drops today, but he's going from maiden to maiden 25 claiming. That's a huge drop, huge. Maker gets 21% when he puts maiden to maiden claiming.
Mm-hmm.
And plus he gets 17% when the horse has got 90 plus days off. So, you got a super fresh horse here,
Well, he's had
solid
more than
work.
90 days off, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got more than 90 days off.
Uh-huh.
And
He's
he's got
actually been
solid
off for
works.
more than a year, this guy.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, no, that's
You
one
know,
of the reasons I was a little bit nervous about the horse.
yeah, you got to be a little nervous because of
Because
that. You do.
that big, huge drop and then coming back at one of the lowest levels, I mean, that was really a concern to me.
But if you look at his workouts, they're very consistent in how many days apart. And that's what you got to look for, see if there's any inconsistency. So, you know, I think that drop is going to be huge for him. It helps him be a little bit better than probably the rest, but I'm not 100% sold. I do believe the 9's going to have a say in this race. This horse ran second last time out. Bond, the trainer, gets 14% when he rests on 46 plus days. And this horse has solid works. And then the 8 horse is my third choice here. Ran third last time out. They add blinkers today. And the trainer gets 44% when the blinkers are back on. So, that horse should show a little bit more improvement, focused again. And then my price horse here is the 2. Has some speed. Trainer gets 11% at 46 plus days off. Plus gets Kendrick on another live horse. I mean, Kendrick could have a shot here to winning at least 5 or 6 races.
Yeah, he could have a really nice day. I'm going to go up the 9 horse, Chiara. I think this one's going to set the early tone. Has 3 really good workouts between this race and the last race. Number 8, I do think Bana Fana Fo, that big late pace advantage, but has enough early speed to be contend. I think it's going to get the trip it wants here. I'm looking for a better race today. It also has some back speed, so I just think it's going to be right there. Number 2, Treat Street, left arrow horse, does have the early pace, and like you said, Kendrick on here looking to have a big day, and those simulation odds say you can't leave this one off your ticket. And then it really was a tough call between the 1 and the 5 for me, because the 5 would be my pick here if the 1 had scratched, or I could flip them back and forth. I went with the 1 horse because of the time off. The last workout, though, was pretty nice with the 5 horse. I might regret not having the 5 in here. It's a flip of the coin for me. I'll go with the horse that's been a little bit more active, because you don't know if the 5 will be a little rusty off the break. And also in that 5's debut, it was its best race of the 2 for sure. The speed number that fits here, but still got off to an early, kind of a slow break and kind of just ran in the same place all the way around the track. I would have liked to see a little bit more forward placed on that debut coming off the bench to give me a sense that the horse will get engaged early. The Tropping class might be that difference there. But again, going from maiden special weight 75,000 all the way to 25 grand, not making a stop somewhere in the middle is a little bit of a concern for me. I'm going to bet a 50-cent try with the few dollars I have left. 8-9 with the 2-8-9 with the 1, 2, 8, and 9. If you prefer Charles's 5, maybe take the 1 out and throw the 5 in there. Or if you have more money than I had left, go ahead and stick the 5 in there as well. Usually we rewind to all of our picks today, but we're going to go back to race number 4, where we have the late pick 5. That has that guaranteed payout of 190, mandatory payout of 189,000 to get started. Charles, again, your pick 5, you're going to go with the 4, 6, 7, 8, and 10 in race 4. Race 5, you're going to single that 7. Race 6, the 1A entry, and then the 2, 4, 7. And then in race number 7, you're going to single up that 1. And then you're going to go 2, 5, 8, 9. I'm going to go 5, 6, 7, 10 with the 1, 2, 7, with the 1, 2, 4, with the 1, 7 in race number 7. And then 2, 8, 9, and probably regret not having the 5 at the end.
Plus those price of those tickets yours is basically doubled mine. But where do you stop, of adding where you think you're scared, So that's why I went with the gamble. I went with my 2 picks there, single them out.
So the last race is terrible. I hate the race. I agree with you, Scary. Take a chance with the 7, Manley, Raymond Handel, 37%, 10-4, 427. This guy can bring in a long shot. With that said, wide open race, right? Honk for donk. Probably play something on Fannie Lou as well. And that's in that last race. Fannie Lou being the 3 horse, and then Honk for donk. I don't know where's that horse in there, Charles. I don't see that name in there.
Honk for donk, probably the donk the trainer.
Oh, yes, indeed. All right, Charles. Again, tonight, you and I will be back along with our good friend Terry. Let me pull up all of our picks.
You know, you got the good-looking one, and then you got Terry.
Yeah, you got me, and then you got Terry and Charles. You're right. I appreciate the kind words, my friend. But we're going to be back tonight a little bit before post time for the first race at Turfway Park. We're going to put together our thoughts on every single horse through every single race. We're going to pick a winner for every race. We're going to have our best bet for the night. So for the folks in Turkey, if you're up, we will have a banker for just one for the entire card. We're going to have a long shot for the entire card. And we're also going to go back to old try truth thing. We're going to have a hot dog pick 4 where we have less than $20 to spend, or 20 or less, and a prime rib pick 4 for one of the 2 pick 4s there where we have $100 budget or not. And then, of course, we'll talk about whatever else comes up through the course of the show. Again, that'll start about 15 minutes before first race at Turfway Park tonight. Just, if you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. When we go live, you'll be notified. Follow us on our social sites. You can follow me on Twitter at HRTRich for some random thoughts in the middle of the night. And if you're going to play today over at Charlestown, while we are talking about Turfway Park, at Guaranteed Tip Sheet in the link below, you will see there is a link for Charlestown as the free track tonight. So you're going to want to catch that. And then our professor, the picks with the professor. Big game coming up in college football next Monday night. But between here and there, college basketball, maybe a little bit of hockey. The professor has you covered. Again, a link down in the description below. And if you want to look as good as I do, or Terry, never mind Charles, you want to get your HRT gear. It's a great way to support the show. If you hit some winners today, head on over to the link down in the description below. Get yourself a nice HRT t-shirt. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. All right, Charles, that wraps us up for today at Aqueduct. Any final thoughts before? Hold on. Tomorrow, I know the folks in Turkey are going to love this. Tom and I, at 1 o'clock Eastern, are going to do Meydan in Dubai. So we're going to cover some foreign racing, as always, on Foreign Fridays. And then on Saturday, Terry and I will be back a little bit before post time for Santa Anita. So that should be a lot of fun as well. All right, Charles. Any final thoughts before we get back here tonight for Turfway Park?
Well, after you start hit my pick 5, then we'll just take it over and we'll roll it at the Turfway.
I see. All right. Well, hopefully you hit your pick 5, my man. So I think if you hit yours, I have a good shot of hitting mine.
Yeah,
too.
actually, you do too.
Indeed. So, well, we're looking forward to getting back tonight. So between here and there, no matter what it is that you're doing, whether it's at Aqueduct, you're getting yourself some horse racing today gear, just getting through your day at work, can't wait to get home, play a little bit of Turfway Park tonight. We hope it ends up in one place, Charles. By golly, that can only be
the winner's circle,
especially with my pick 5 ticket.
Well,
have a great day.
Mine's pretty good,
See you tonight.
All right, bye.